I have an idea. Keat crept in stealth towards the goblin stirring the cookpot. The goblin poked a wooden spoon in at the stew, stirring like it was made of molasses. The goblin spat to the side, then in the pot, and scratched its butt. "You watch the pot, you useless Stiggs. Me off for smoke. Who got me cigs?" The goblin turned away to take smoko. Keat's hand lashed out. He emptied 2 containers of tofu turmeric chai latte into the swill. The swill glowed green and yellow for a moment, then turned back to a murky brown. Keat crept back towards Blake and waited. The goblins kept building the bonfire. Keat watched his party's debuff slowly reducing, their HP climbing. The stew pot came to a boil, and the goblin chef banged his spoon against it. "Food be good. Come eat your fill. Kent is done. Now take your swill." The goblins clambered over one another, elbowing and clawing to get at the food pot. One even sprayed another with their poison gland, kicking him when he went down. One by one, they slurped up bowls of the goblin stew. "I don't think it'll work, Keat. I mean, the silky tofu blended up is delicious," Blake said. "I mean, the digestive benefits of the turmeric alone." A goblin vomited all over one of the others. The goblins started running off into the dark, separating from each other. The sounds of hurling and of violently released bowels came in horrible squelches. The goblins cried out threats to the chef in the dark. "Oh, me stomach churn! This food be bad! One stomach empty, I punch your nads! Oh, my bowels be cursed! You devil send! No! What spice you used to make this blend? A curse on you, the chef from hell! Once vomit stop, I ring your bell!" Keat raised an eyebrow at Blake. "It was probably what was already in there. The latte had nothing to do with it," Blake said. Keat motioned him forwards, and they crept through the dark. Blake had gotten a stealth ability from their sneak through the village. Keat crept up to the goblin cook first, who was hunched over the ground, dry retching. Keat brought the barbecue fork up and slammed it into the wretched creature's back. "Plus 30 XP for slaying Kane Gobbo Cook. You reach level 3. Keep moving up that ladder, tenant. Plus 5 stat points to assign." Keat crept through the darkness, slaying Kane Gobbos with backstab maneuvers. He gestured for Blake to get towards the others and start untying them. Blake gulped, but crept into the night. Keat picked off 8 more goblins, bringing him almost up to level 4. The drain from Mongrel and the barbecue fork taking its toll. He levelled his stealth skill and backstab skill twice more. He took the stat points for level 3 and jammed 3 stat points into Constitution, remembering the poison burn, and 1 each into Strength and Agility for damage. Whack! A club smacked into his back, knocking him sprawling. He hit the ground, the wind knocked out of him, and saw his health bar drop to half. "What do you do with Slub's crew? I'll break your bones into my stew." Keat rolled to the side, a club smashing down where he'd been a moment ago. He kicked out and entangled the goblin head honcho's legs. Mongrel sprang from the side, knocking Slob down, clawing at his face. Keat kicked up to standing, bringing the barbecue fork up. From the corner of his eyes, a bolt of green flashed towards him. Keat ducked and saw Tirana the hedge mage preparing another spell. Slob grabbed Mongrel and hurled him to the side. Mongrel's health had taken a bruising, and Keat mentally told him to hang back. Keat twisted around another swing of Slob's club, stabbing out with his barbecue fork into the goblin's side. Slob roared and slipped to one knee. A blast of green energy hit them both, and Keat was blasted back into a wall. Keat saw Tirana baring his fangs. "Me sorry, boss, you moved a bit. Try to hold this nasty git." Keat's health bar dropped down to a quarter. He couldn't take another hit like that. Slob recovered fast, charging back at Keat. Keat tried to stand, but a fractured rib doubled him over. "Oh, balls!" Mel's open palm smacked into Slob's temple, stunning him. Her fist wreathed in blue energy. Her eyes glowing, she hit a series of blows to his torso. Where she struck left behind blue spikes of energy, keeping Slob pinned. Keat surged upwards, his barbecue fork jamming through Slob's throat. A fountain of ichor burst onto Keat. Notifications blurred past his eyes, and Keat dismissed them. He felt the golden energy of a level-up wash over him, shooting his health bar back to full. Mel hauled him to his feet. Tirana, the cane goblin hedge mage, stared them down. Nugget's fist cracked into the hedge mage, knocking him flying. Tirana wrenched his neck back and forth. The rest of the party was free from their bonds, Blake having untied them. A poisonous green cloud burst around Tirana. When it cleared, Tirana was disappearing into the distance.
Tirana runs, but he be back. With gobbo friends, your head to crack.
Drenched in gore, cane goblins piled around them. Keat slumped to the ground. Blake threw his arms around Mel. Your monk skills are so amazing, Sugar Muffin. Mel blushed. You clever man, Blake, poisoning their meal with your magic. See, Keat, he's a great member of our team. Keat's jaw dropped. Unable to speak, he was so exhausted. Yes, a brilliant plan, Blake acknowledged. Inspiration is never far away when your mind is trained. It came to me deep in meditation. Still, having Keat as my sidekick did help. Keat ground his teeth. That motherfucker. Nugget came over, sat down and nudged Keat. That plan was good. A brain it takes. Methinks that plan did not be Blake's. Keat snorted at Nug's impersonation of the goblins. Loot would cheer him up, and he had slain a level 4 goblin head honcho. He flicked through the notifications from the battle. You have slain Slob, Cane Gobbo head honcho, plus 212 XP, split with party. You have reached level 4, plus 5 stat points. You gain the title, Cane Gobbo Slayer, 10% damage against goblins, minus 5,000 reputation with all goblinoids. Congratulations for clearing out a cane goblin infestation. You gain plus 50 tenant points. Tenant score, plus 51. Minus 5% mortgage and rental costs. Keat scratched his head. Again with the tenant score. Who would be applying for mortgages in the apocalypse? The XP had started splitting once the others woke up. All of the rest of the party had hit level 2, which was great. Blake had even hit level 3. Well, the latte kid would be useful yet. Keat lowered his hand to loot the goblin head honcho. Loot would cheer him up. 10 silver. Slob's ruined singlet, baked in with the stench of head honcho Slob. Enemies suffer a penalty trying to get close to strike at the wearer. Plus 1 armor, minus 2 to stealth rolls. Slob's brutal club. Ideal for bopping the heads of annoying minions. This club gives plus 2 to damage. Slob's dungeon map. Shoddy quality. A crudely drawn map of one corner of a dungeon. Best not to ask what this is drawn in. Ding! You have gained knowledge, shoddy admittedly, of the Broken Hill Dungeon, one of the 9 pillar dungeons in Australia. XP gained 100. Keat hurt. He'd nearly gone down from a couple of blows. He needed to be able to dodge hits, dodge more, and deal more damage. He added points to constitution and agility. The barbecue fork slithered out of his hand, stabbed into the chieftain's club and wrapped around it like a constrictor python. The barbecue fork started drinking the club up like it was liquid. He even swore he'd heard a burp as it finished. Exhausted, sleep-deprived and covered in cane-toad bits, the Gap Year 6 retreated back into the pub for the night. Morning came, and they gathered in the pub, ready to roll out. Each of them headed for the door, to hit the road. Standing at the exit, Keat felt a pull towards an area behind the bar. Holding up a hand to the others, he walked behind the bar and found a chest sitting recessed behind a few kegs of beer. He held out a hand and it clicked open, revealing a diamond the size of a golf ball. Congratulations, tenant. By clearing out the infestation of cane-toad goblins, you may claim ownership of Shearer's Creek. Simply place your hand on the pub's core and start climbing the property ladder. Why, a few renovations and this place will be ready to sell. After all, there are only 3 rules to real estate. Location, location, and no cane-toads. Keat put his hand out to claim the pub's core. Blake put a hand on Keat's shoulder. Why don't you let me take it, Keat? The barista class has a few perks that go with bars and clubs. Blake grinned at him and winked. Keat hesitated. Was he being selfish, taking this for himself? Blake had helped out a fair bit last night. Here, have a latte while you think it over, Blake said, in what Keat guessed passed as a peace offering from the inner Melbourne layabout. Should he do this to make peace? They needed to work together to survive this, and the barista class might have some perks to offset its lack of combat ability. Keat's hand started to fall to his side. Seems silly, really, giving up the loot. When have you ever given up loot? Keat shook his head and grabbed the town pub's core. A faint crack showed him Blake's serenity, gone as quick as it appeared. Dickhead. He just wanted to impress Mel, probably with the diamond.